The truth about healthy eating: food experts are always telling us what we should and shouldn't eat, but they often give us different advice. Our food writer, Teresa Gold, has taken a look at all the information to figure out what is fact and what is fiction. A typical American breakfast of fried eggs, bacon, toast, pancakes, and orange juice will certainly stop you from feeling hungry, but it's high in calories, which means that you'll gain weight if you eat it regularly. A healthier option is to have just an egg. Boil it instead of frying it, and eat it with a piece of toast made with whole wheat bread. Breakfast cereals are very high in sugar, so if you feel like cereal, have granola with no added sugar. You can also get your first vitamins of the day by drinking a glass of freshly squeezed orange juice. Fruits and vegetables contain the vitamins and minerals we need to stay healthy. But 5 is actually a fictional number thought up by an American nutritionist. She looked at what the average person ate and doubled it. According to more recent research, the right number is actually 8. The research shows that people who have 8 pieces of fruit and vegetables a day are much less likely to suffer from heart disease than those who eat 3. This particular food has had some bad publicity because dentists say it can harm our teeth. Well, it's true that apples do contain a little sugar. They are also a source of fiber. Nutritionists say that we need about 18 grams of fiber a day, and a medium apple peel included contains about 3 grams. Some varieties contain more fiber than others, so you should choose carefully. The key to good health is a balanced diet that contains fats and carbohydrates as well as proteins, vitamins, and minerals. Fats may be high in calories, but they also contain vitamins. According to the World Cancer Research Fund, you should only have about 500 grams of red meat per week. A steak is about 100 grams. One type of food on its own won't kill or cure you, but eating the right amount of the right food will stop you from getting sick.
Extreme family ties. Family can be an important part of a person's life, and for some nationalities, being close to your family is more important than it is to others. For example, families in Southern Europe are generally very close, although in the past they spent even more time together. This is also true of families in the Middle East. But it is the Bedouin people who have the closest ties of all. Traditional Bedouin families live in large tents about half the size of a basketball court. The tents are divided into 2 sections. The first is for receiving guests in true Bedouin style. They have the reputation of being the world's most generous hosts. Visitors are always served a big meal as soon as they arrive. The second part of the tent is the family's shared kitchen, living room, dining room, and bedroom. They don't have tables and chairs, as the whole family sits on the floor to eat. And instead of beds, everybody sleeps on mattresses, which are piled into a corner of the room during the day. Several generations usually share the tent. The head of the family is the mother, and she is the one who gives the orders. Her husband and her children live with her, even when the children are married and have their own children. The sons and sons-in-law look after the animals, while the daughters and daughters-in-law clean the tent, cook the meals, and take care of the younger grandchildren. The older ones are left to run around outside. There may often be as many as 30 people under the same roof. The few young people who have left the family to live in the city visit their mothers nearly every day. It can be quite a surprise to see a shiny new Mercedes pull up outside one of the tents and watch a well-dressed man get out to greet his relatives. Bedouin people do not like to be separated from their families, and there is a very good reason why. If they are poor, sick, old, or unemployed, it is the family that supports them. Elderly people are never left alone, and problems are always shared. Children who work in the city are often responsible for their families financially. In this way, Bedouin families aren't just close, they are a lifeline.
Jazz in New York. New York is famous for its music, and for music fans, no trip to the city is complete without a visit to one of the many music venues. Here are 4 of the many places you can go to hear music being performed. Barb's Seif Carzal. Barb's is a performance venue in the Park Slope neighborhood of Brooklyn. Come here to listen to musical styles from all over the world, such as Mexican, Lebanese, Romanian, and Venezuelan, along with traditional American styles. Usually $10 to get in. 55 Bar, located in Greenwich Village. This small club, which started in 1919, has a very interesting history. Come to hear guitarists play and expect to see lots of serious music fans and music students from local colleges and music schools. Usually $10.20. Smalls. This club was created in 1994 but has already become very famous in New York because well-known players such as Norah Jones began their careers here. The club closed in 2002 but opened again in 2004 with a more comfortable room and a website that features live streaming video of all performances. It opens from 4 p.m. to 4 a.m., $20 to get in. Café Carlisle. Come to the first floor of the famous Carlisle Hotel to visit the Café Carlisle. It's particularly worth going on Monday nights. Not only will you hear music from the Eddie Davis New Orleans Music Band, but you will also hear the famous movie director Woody Allen play with them. As well as being a director, Woody Allen is also a musician. Sets at 8:45. The venue holds only 90 and is often sold out, so it's a good idea to book ahead. But it isn't cheap. Tickets start at $100.
The man who quit money in the first year of the 21st century, a man standing by a busy road in the middle of the United States, took his life savings out of his pocket, $30, laid it inside a phone booth, and walked away. He was 39 years old, came from a good family, and had been to college. He was not mentally ill, nor did he have any problems. The man who outwit money with drugs or alcohol. The decision was made by a man who knew exactly what he was doing. In the 12 years since then, as the stock market has risen and fallen, Daniel Sulo has not earned, received, or spent a single dollar. In an era when anyone who could sign his name could get a mortgage, Sulo did not apply for loans. As public debt rose to $8, $10, and finally $13 trillion, he did not pay taxes or accept any type of help from the government. Instead, he went to live in a cave in Utah, where he picks fruit and wild onions, collects animals that have been killed on the road, takes old food that has gone past its sell-by date out of trash cans, and is often fed by friends and strangers. My philosophy is to use only what is freely given or discarded, he writes. While the rest of us try to deal with taxes, mortgages, retirement plans, and bank accounts, Sulo no longer even has an ID card. Daniel is not a typical tramp. He often works but refuses to be paid. Although he lives in a cave, he is extremely social, remains close to friends and family, and has discussions with strangers on his website, which he checks at the local library. He has ridden his bike long distances, traveled on freight trains, hitchhiked through nearly every state in the United States, worked on a fishing boat, collected mussels from Pacific beaches, caught salmon in streams in Alaska, and spent 3 months living in a tree after a storm. I know it's possible to live with zero money, Sulo declares. And he says you can live well.
Hey, the Bulbus, do you enjoy writing? Do you like children? Then why not volunteer for our mobile library service in Zambia? We work with underprivileged children in public elementary schools, and it's a lot of fun. We read stories, do art projects, and organize activities to help the children learn English. After breakfast at 7 a.m., we head to our first school in time for the beginning of the school day. Every morning we visit at least 4 schools, and we spend about an hour in each one. We get back to our campsite at around 2 p.m. for lunch, and after that you have the afternoon free to relax or prepare activities. The project takes place from May to September, and it's open to everyone. Volunteers have to pay for their own flight and make a contribution to the project. Be the Great Orangutan Project. Are you an animal lover? If you are, then you should come to Kuba National Park in Borneo. We need people to help us take care of our orangutans. Unfortunately, you won't be able to touch the animals because they are being prepared to be released into the wild, but you'll work very close to them. You'll spend your time in the wildlife center repairing the shelters where the orangutans live or building new ones. You might have to make a swing or install some ropes where the animals can play. You'll share a room in a wooden hut that looks out onto the rainforest. The program lasts for 2 or 4 weeks and it costs $1,935 or $2,820 respectively, excluding flights. See construction in Peru. Are you good at making things? If you are and you'd like to take part in a construction project, how about coming to Peru to lend a hand? You'll be based in Cusco in southeastern Peru, and you'll be involved in the construction of a small school and a community center or an orphanage. You may have to paint and make repairs to existing buildings or build new ones in and around the city. You'll live with a Peruvian family, and you'll eat all your meals together in their house. All of the houses have electricity and running water, but you'll have to go to an internet cafe in Cusco if you want to go online. You are expected to work from Monday to Friday, and on the weekends you can explore some of the fantastic sites in the region. Please bring your own work clothes. Unusual ways of getting around bamboo trains. This is the best way to see rural Cambodia. A bamboo train, or nori as the locals call it, is a bamboo platform on wheels that travels along tracks. It's powered by an engine, and it can reach a speed of 25 miles per hour. Passengers sit on a grass mat on the nori. Noris may not be as comfortable as conventional trains, but they are certainly a lot cheaper. Pick up a nori from Batambang station, but remember to agree on a price before you get on. Tatora reed boats. These boats have been around for centuries. They are made from the reeds that grow on the banks of Lake Titicaca, one of the largest lakes in South America. As well as making boats from Tatora reeds, the local people use them to make their houses, which they build on floating islands. Tatora reed boats are still used for hunting and fishing, but today some of the local people transport people across the lake in them. Traveling on a reed boat among the floating islands of the lake is a must for visitors to Peru. Jeepney. A jeepney is the most common form of public transportation in the Philippines. They are made out of the jeeps left on the islands by the American Army at the end of World War II. People gave the jeeps a roof, put into long seats on either side, and painted them, turning them into small buses. Jeepneys have open windows instead of air conditioning. They are often packed with passengers, and there are no bus stops. The driver just slows down to let the passengers jump on and off. Dog sleds. Dog sledding is a unique experience because it's something you can't do in many other parts of the world. It was once the only way to get around in the snow of Alaska, but now its use is limited to winter sports and tourism. The best time to try it is from January to March. In the summer there isn't enough snow, so the dogs pull sleds on wheels. The ride can be a little bumpy because the sled sometimes goes over stones and the dogs bark a lot. All the same, it's an opportunity not to be missed.